close. Hey, Daddy. To heaven and heaven. Ha ha. Yeah.
I can almost see my
journey's end. I'm too close, Daddy. To heaven in heaven. Somewhere you never had. You know what I'm saying? Some all the trees and the grass and the leaves only had. Too close, y'all. Too close. Yeah. To heaven in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And I can't turn back. Or turn my back on y'all. Yeah. I can't turn around. No, can't turn around. God ain't going nowhere, man. Too damn close. Just too damn close, man. To heaven, you know what I'm saying? Heaven in heaven, Daddy. Heaven. That's the good part about it. We gonna be freely having in heaven. Hey, shit. What? Oh, man, too close, Daddy. Too close. Oh, shit. Yeah. You made it out, Green. Seen you the other day. You're too close and shit to heaven. Adam, freely. Oh, goddamn. Love of the day. The word stay. You know what I'm saying? Don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I can't turn around. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't turn around. No, God goes straight. Shit. Through the ground. Oh, goddamn. Shit, come out the other side. Shit, born again. Shit. Chinaman. You know what I'm saying? Call me Jack. Jackson. Adam. Pick. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call me Jack. You know what I'm saying? 1986. Goddamn. Calling somebody, shit. 1996 called me, shit. Ain't going nowhere, shit. I'm here now, shit. I can't, Daddy, I can't. No, I can't, no. Ain't going nowhere. Oh, no, I can't turn around. No, oh, I can't. No, I can't. Oh, I ain't going nowhere. No, I can't turn it around. Ain't gonna turn it around. I'm just going straight, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's just saying, but we're gonna make a left turn here. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll go downtown. And then we're gonna hit Daddy Street. You know what I'm saying? The old man street. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you always get names where you will. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. Not a game. You know what I'm saying? Pray, you know what I'm saying? Don't be the prey, you know what I'm saying? Can't turn around now, again. When you come out your mama and I start breathing for you, you know what I'm saying? And me and you start breathing, you can't turn around, you God then, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can get with people and they say, oh, he ain't God, they ain't God, this and that. But if they ain't God, they ain't living, you know what I'm saying? Shit, if they ain't God, shit, and they may not no longer be seen. You know what I'm saying? Turn down who you is. You know what I'm saying? The will of God. You know what I'm saying? Who you is the will of God. You know what I'm saying? And that's who you will. You know what I'm saying? Who you will is the will of God. You know what I'm saying? And I can't turn around. No, I can't. This
So,
is I
if you
can't.
want to change the world,
Turn around. Oh shit, I can't.
problem is, you'll be flying
Turn
blind.
around.
You build product on...
There is a huge blessing, huge. We talking about game-changing, life-rearranging, huge type blessing headed your way. But there's a catch. It's not coming in the way that you think. This is going to be a blessing in disguise. So, how are you going to recognize it, even though it's not going to look the way you thought? There is a 6-step process that walks you through how this thing could unfold. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you are going to recognize this blessing in disguise so that you don't throw it away, and most importantly, you don't lose your mind. What's up, everybody? All right, so today we're going to be talking about this blessing in disguise, right? And what we're going to be doing is kind of walking through a process of how these blessings in disguise start off and then where they end up. So a lot of times when we pray, first it looks like we get the exact opposite of what we prayed for. It's like, what is this? And then later on, by the end of it, we're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened, because if that wouldn't happen, this wouldn't have happened. And then we start to understand, okay, maybe when I did pray, things started to get rearranged and realigned for me to end up exactly where I wanted to be. And for some people, you end up better than where you thought you would be, okay? It leads to something great. So I'm gonna be breaking down this 6-step process. We're gonna start here on YouTube with half of them, and then we're going over to Patreon, and we're gonna be breaking down the other ones, okay? You're going to be choosing your blessing in disguise. Now, before we jump into those numbers, I wanna share something. I'll give you a testimony. Let's just call it a testimony. Something that happened to me years ago. And you're gonna use this scenario to walk through these steps to understand how these things unfold, okay? So travel back in time with me to when I was in college. It was over the summer, and I got to choose an apartment, and it was the last apartment that I wanted. It was the worst apartment on the entire campus. It was the furthest away from all of the buildings and all of my friends, and nobody liked these apartments. There was actually a huge building in the front of the campus that was the apartment of my dreams. Wait, I prayed and I prayed, Lord, can I get in this apartment? Let me have this one. I really want to be in that one. The answer was no. So I had to take what I could get. So I got this apartment. Me and my mom moved everything in. A lot of groceries. We set up the beds. We did the furniture. We had the TV set up. We did everything. So I went home, and there was 2 weeks before school started. 2 weeks before I went to officially live in my new apartment. When I was at home, one night it just hit me. You should go onto the campus website, go to the apartment of your dreams, and just look at the dimensions. So I did. I looked up the dimensions, and I asked myself, I said, how would you decorate this apartment if you just so happen to get in there? So as I'm looking at the dimensions, I'm moving furniture in my mind. I'm like, I would set this up here and set this up there, and I let it go. 2 weeks later, it's time for me to go down to school. I'm driving down to school by myself for the very first time, and about an hour into the drive, I freak out and I get scared. I pull over and I call my dad. About an hour later, my dad meets me at this McDonald's, and we drive down to the school together. Here's where things get interesting. When I first walked into my brand new apartment with all of the furniture set up and all the groceries everywhere, the place was completely molded. There was mold all down the walls. There was mold on the floor. There was mold in my daughter's crib. There was mold on my bed. There was mold on the couch. There was mold all over the boxes of food. Mold everywhere. And I was distraught. But it just so happened that I got scared on the road, and my dad was there with me. So he's like, let's go to Walmart. And $50 worth of cleaning supplies later, we was back at the apartment scrubbing the walls. I'm scrubbing the walls and I'm crying. I'm scrubbing the walls and I'm complaining. I'm looking at my daughter's closet with all her brand new clothes and the tags still on them, and I see mold, and I'm just distraught. So I call the apartment head for the campus, and they said, oh, it's probably not that bad. You know, we'll have the people come out and clean it. So they came to inspect, and they was like, oh, well, no, yeah, it's that bad. It's It's that bad. And so I was crying, complaining. They said, well, we're gonna have to emergency move you. And then I'm crying and complaining like, no, I don't feel like moving. I gotta pack all my stuff. And I'm just complaining. And they said, yeah, well, that's all we can do. So why don't you go ahead and start packing up your stuff and meet us over at, and that's when they gave the name of the apartment complex of my dream. What? Meet you where? And they're like, over at that other part of the campus. And I'm like, I thought it was a wait list. I thought it was a 2-semester. So I get over there. They walk me into the apartment. I immediately stopped crying. I stopped complaining. I didn't care about no mold, because not only was this the apartment complex of my dreams, this was the most extra special, one of a kind that they had. Let me tell you why. So they don't tell you that they have special reserved apartments for emergencies such as this. But out of all of the apartments on the entire campus, this is the only one that is a super deluxe. What does this mean? Well, it was actually made for someone in a wheelchair, but no one in a wheelchair needed this apartment. So when I moved into my very first apartment, it was extra wide. The shower was extra big. It had all kind of seats and compartments. It was huge. It was like a bathroom oasis. The living room was extra big and extra wide. All of the counter space was extra wide. It was just such a huge apartment. And the thing about it is, when my friends came, they had never seen this type of apartment before, because every other apartment is built the same exact way. This is the only one that was built like that. So when people came in, they was like, what is this? And I got to, tell my story and tell my testimony, how I was there and this and that. And let me tell you, by the end of the day, I was happily skipping, whistling to the garbage dumpster, throwing away brand new clothes with tags still on them. That's how amazing this apartment was. Now here's the catch. This apartment was about 2 times more the rent than the first one. How about they gave me that extra deluxe one for the same price as the little raggedy one way in the back of campus? So what started out as a scary devastation turned into me being so happy that I didn't care what I lost, because everything that I lost had nothing on not only what I had gained, but because I knew that this is where I would be for the rest of the year. Now we're gonna jump into how this applies to you, okay? There's a blessing on the way. Some of you guys may be in a certain stage, right? So instead of 6 steps, let's just say 6 stages. It's 6 stages, 6 different things that happen from the time you ask for this thing, and then by step 6, it's the way it unfolds and how you see the blessing, okay? So take a look at the screen. You're gonna see that there are 3 dudes. Those are your blessings. You just don't recognize them because they're in disguise, okay? So choose the blessing in disguise that you feel most drawn to, and I definitely recommend that you listen to them, because remember, these are the steps, okay? But you might just be drawn more to one, or this may be the step you're on. Maybe you don't know what step.
If you're a subject matter expert and you've got a message on your heart that could literally change the game for thousands of people, then I apologize for putting pressure on you, but I consider it to be your duty to figure out how to be known by all the people that you can help. If that's not you, feel free to hit skip. But if it is you, then welcome to your wake-up call. Endlessly posting on social media, hoping to catch fire or go viral, is a complete waste of your time. If you want to reach everyone in the world that you can possibly help, then you need to get featured in major media like Fox News, CNN, The Today Show.
You're on, okay? Or maybe this is what you're going to be looking for when it comes up, okay? So let's go ahead and let's jump into this first blessing in disguise. All right, so if you chose blessing in disguise number 1, the first step, the stage that you might be in, is the divine disruption, okay? This is where something unexpected happens. You gain something, but then you lose it, right? You thought you had it all figured out, then it doesn't go according to plan, right? So in this stage, something in your life is disrupted or removed, okay? Some examples: you get a divorce, you get fired. Like with my story, it's a housing thing. For some of you guys, it may be an unplanned pregnancy. Some type of loss. You can feel like a failure. You can feel like you had to quit something, walk away from something. You thought something was going to be forever, but you found out it was just temporary. You had an expiration date. Okay? You're angry in this stage. You're hurt. You're devastated. You're trying to figure out, Lord, why? Okay? This part of the process of your blessing in disguise unfolding, it is the part where you trying to rationalize it in your mind, but you can't make it make sense, right? It got your head spinning. All right, so this is how it feels, right? It's the unexpected interruption, but what you don't know at that time, for some of you all who are in this stage, what you don't realize at this time is this is the beginning of your prayer being answered, right? It has a purpose, okay? It fits into the bigger picture. You wanted one thing, and in order to get it, there had to be a disruption. There had to be a lightning strike. There had to be a crumbling of the towers. You didn't realize this was the detour to get you to where you wanted to be. You just didn't realize that in order sometimes to get to where you want to be, it might cost you a little bit, okay? But whatever it is that you lose in this phase, it's all a part of the bigger picture. It's all a part of God's plan, okay? Now, this is your pivotal moment, okay? You're being redirected to something better. This is the start of something better, even though it looks bad, okay? This is your setup for a future blessing. So for those people who are in this stage right now, you just lost something, or you're still, trying to figure out what just happened, okay? Your head is still spinning. You're devastated. You're heartbroken. You're sitting there looking at, wait a minute, I had this and then I lost it, right? You feel like something is missing. This is a divine interruption. Think about what you've been praying for and leave room for hope, because you know if it's God involved, then it has to be something better. This is not your punishment. Think about when I was in school. It wasn't my punishment. I didn't necessarily do anything wrong. It's just that the beginning of the prayer being answered meant that I was going to have to sacrifice something. I was going to have to lose something in order to gain something better. So that's your piece of advice. Be hopeful and have faith in the fact that you lost something because something better is on the way. Let's get to the next one. All right. So if you chose number 2, this next stage is all about the isolation or reflection, okay? You get separated from the interruption, right? So if it's the divorce, if it's the unplanned pregnancy, if your housing situation, in some type of way, you have to detach from it, or you are detached from it, okay? You're pulled to the side for instruction. So this is the part where now, you pray for this thing, and step 1, it didn't go as planned. It's like, Lord, why? Lord, why? And now you're here listening for the next steps. So for those of you who feel like you don't know what's happening, you're in the state of isolation for instruction, okay? So this is also a grace period to mourn what you've lost and, try to process it, right? So with me in the apartment, it's like I'm crying, I'm devastated. Look at all of the stuff that I lost. I paid all this money for this food. I got to throw it away. Oh my God, we got to go buy extra stuff. I got to try within my power, right? During the isolation phase, some of y'all may be trying the best you can. You may be still fighting, but it's done, right? I wanted that apartment, because I didn't know that it was a better one. So I'm scrubbing the walls and I'm crying, and it's just like, yeah, I'm mourning what I've lost. I'm still trying to raise the dead. It's over with, but I'm still fighting for it. So now, this is the part where you have to start processing the grieving process, realizing, yeah, I lost that. Yeah, it don't look too good, and I'm probably not going to be able to stay here, right? You question yourself. You question the future in this stage. Okay, you look at yourself, your mistakes, you look at your role in the situation. For some of y'all, you start feeling guilty. For some of y'all, what it is that you lost or what it is that's devastating, maybe you did cause it. Maybe you are the one. But sometimes it's funny because what we pray for is like we make mistakes, and God, some way, somehow, still always makes it work out in our favor. All right, so in this phase, you're reflecting, you're looking at yourself, but most importantly, you're waiting for your next step of instructions. For some of you guys, your advice in this period is stop trying to fight it. Stop trying to save that dead relationship. Stop trying to show up and do, you know, at that job when they fired you, when they said we don't need you here no more, you know, trying to convince them to bring you back and all of that. If it's done because God said he's done. And not only is God saying it's done because he wanted to be over for you, but because he needs you to be redirected in a direction that's better for you. Okay? So, time of isolation, reflection, and your next set of instructions. And that's step 2. Okay? All right, so stage 3. This is now decision time. You got to make the choices. Okay? It is your seeking phase. A lot of times why we have to go through a process before we get to the actual blessing is because, like I was telling y'all earlier, God needs for your brain, he needs for your mind to operate in a different way. If you are used to one thing, your mind probably just continuously thinks like that. But there comes a point in your life when you're being elevated where your mind has to shift. And your wheels have to start spinning in a different direction. I'm seeing a vision of somebody driving down the street. It's time for you to make a right. You have to spin them wheels in a different direction, okay? And so for some of you guys, now you're at the crossroad, where now you have to spin those wheels in a different direction. At first you could just drive straight, life was just all good, but then boom, here's this divine interruption, and you have to choose left or right, left or right, left or right. Okay, it's a tough phase to be in because number 1, you don't want to make the wrong choice. And then number 2, if I go right, I can't go left. If I go left, I can't go right. You got an unplanned pregnancy, but I can either have the baby or I don't have the baby. I mean, I can't do both. Okay, the apartment is molded. I can either move to the new one or stay here, but I can't live in both. Okay, you got fired from the job, so either you're going into business for yourself or you're gonna fill out applications and go get another job, right? But it's like you really just have to choose one way, and that in itself can be heavy. So you're weighing the pros and the cons, right? The seeking phase. This is the other key element, because sometimes God will allow you to go through things because you will seek him in a way that you've never had before. You will have to depend on him in a way you never had before. You will have to elevate your level of faith in a way you never had before, right? And sometimes, and this is gonna give some brownie points somewhere, you may not have faith in that moment, but maybe you had enough faith stored up to get you the disruption that you didn't know you needed. For example, even though they said the apartments are filled 2-semester wait list, I still decided, you know what, just for fun, let me go ahead and see how I would decorate it if I did get it. And it just so happened that I did get it, and I did decorate it the exact way I planned it out on that when I was looking at the dimensions, just the dimensions. So I had faith, you know, even though I was just playing with it, but that counted. So for some of you guys, it's not faith in the moment of crisis and devastation. Sometimes you have some brownie points saved up from the faith you did have, okay? I hope that makes sense, right? So now you're seeking. Seek means attempt to find something. Now I'm looking for you, God. Now I'm listening for you now. Now I know I need my instructions. So let me go read this. And then you start reaching out for support. You start talking to other people. You start seeking advice, right? You go to forums, right? You look at girls who didn't have a baby and you see how they made it through. You look at girls who did have a baby. Now they're single mom. And you read about how they made it through, right? So you're looking for support. These people got fired. They went into business for themselves and now they're millionaires, right? Take it how it applies. So it gets your brain spinning in different directions, okay? I have a choice, I have a decision, but before I make my choice and my decision, let me pull together my resources, okay? Then you start discovering things you never had. Let me pull, let me start seeking advice and talking to different people from all different walks of life. I never met you before, I don't know you, but, I need something now, right? So now you're clear. It's kind of like stage 3 clears the atmosphere for you to do something different, which is what's going to make the manifestation different, okay? Loosen up space in your subconscious mind. You start looking for support. You're at a crossroad, but this crossroad is causing you to seek in a way that you've never sought before. Is that the word, sought? So that's what I get for number 3. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so that's what we get here on YouTube. Now, there are the last 3 stages, the last 3 stages that are going to lead you to this, oh my God, I'm so glad this happened moment after the devastation. Okay, so make sure you guys click the link in the description box, head on over to Patreon and get the rest of these vibes. Okay, so if this is where it ends for you, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Fuck, I can't even write Joseph. Daddy, shit. Joseph. Joe, Bubby. know me, man. Know I write some shit, man. You still didn't want to tell me back then, but you knew what the fuck I was gonna do. See, you didn't want to tell me then. But I tell that whole conversation we had, that shit we talked about that day. Went from 96 to 88 to visit, you know, when Jim was born. 1990 shit. Went to visit Dad, been on about this shit. Wanted this shit. That TD just got wanted on this shit. Now what that was about, Daddy? How long that was wanted? Now, I think I need to start listening.
There is a huge blessing. Huge. We talking about game.
Wanted. I need to see that.
Video, the most engaging medium of our time. Zype's API-first video infrastructure